So, Matt, how in the world are you?
Well, I guess we didn't do one last week. So
No, it's been two
there's
weeks.
there was Christmas. That was actually super exciting. By super exciting, I mean it was Christmas. I think that may have been the first time I haven't or that I've been able to sleep
Really?
on Christmas Eve. Every other time I've been, at least that I can remember, I've always stayed up either just super late or I've just stayed up all night and just gone right into the 25th.
So, why were you not able to sleep?
I don't know. I know when I was younger, it would mostly be excitement. Just to like know what was going to be like under there.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess this year I was like, I already knew what I was getting. I knew what I was getting like 2 weeks in advance because I
Well,
had a few people like talking to me, and my gift was actually like pretty big.
doesn't that kind of ruin the fun?
I mean, it's gonna sound really weird, but holidays to me have kind of lost their kind of just I don't know
Their
whimsy.
charm,
Yeah, their charm
their
is like
magic.
tomorrow. Like when you're a kid, like staying up until midnight is like the most exciting thing ever because you usually go to bed at like 9 or 10.
Right.
Like I go to bed at like 2. Like the earliest I go to bed is like 1:30. And that's just me laying in bed. Like usually I'll watch like a TV show or something before I go to sleep. So really I'm up like about half an hour to like 45 minutes past that. So I don't know, like the only difference between New Year's and every other night for me is that sometimes I'm surrounded by other people.
Mm. Well, the thing about the magic of the holidays, like especially Christmas, I mean, don't feel bad about that. Like everyone goes through that where it just isn't that exciting anymore. And a lot of people that I've talked to that have kids have pretty much said, yeah, it doesn't really become special again until you start having kids again, just because or having children in your life. Um, because you get to be on the other end of that and see all the, I guess, happiness and joy that.
So yeah, it's like you get to feel good about giving, like it's giving someone else something, and not only someone else, your child. So it's like you get to give happiness to your kid, and they're like, "Oh my goodness, it's so happy." But when you're like 20 years old and you wake up and you're just like, "Hey guys, how's it going?
You're so cynical.
What's under the tree this time? Socks? Bet it sucks." Well, actually, like now, that's another thing. When I was a kid, like getting clothing was always like the worst thing in the world for me.
I think it still is for kids.
Oh yeah, no, for kids, but like me, like growing up, like my mom has gotten me like a new hoodie like for the past 5 or 6 years. And that's something I always look forward to because usually I'll end up wearing that throughout the year because she'll end up getting me something that's usually like lightweight. So even in like late spring, early summer, I can still like wear an open jacket with like sleeves rolled up and zippered down. Cause let me just go ahead and clear this in case I've created an image for myself. I'm not one of those people that wears like super thick hoodies into like summer because I've got like body image issues. I just like wearing jackets. Like, and if I'm not wearing a jacket, I'm probably wearing like a button-up shirt. As like just I don't know, t-shirts feel kind of weird to just like wear on their own. And I guess it's just because I wear like jackets so much
Mm-hmm.
that I've just gotten used to it, and it's kind of like a comfort blanket. It actually is a blanket. This is like if you ever like, I don't know, you want a blanket, you just like take it off, you put it on a blanket. You're ever in a place and you get really tired, you roll it all up as a pillow.
Yeah, I have discovered that actually it's kind of like a portable pillow. But then you got nothing to keep yourself warm with.
That's okay. I'm fat. I'll stay warm.
Yeah, it's kind of like, well, do I want my head to be comfortable or be a comfy body temperature? That's not that bad. I'll pick the pillow.
Yeah. Comfort all the time.
Well, we stayed in town for Christmas, and we kind of don't exchange gifts. We just are kind of like, all right, what do you want? Oh, okay. All right. And that's it. Then, I place my order on Amazon, and with Kristen's stuff, we'll go ahead and take care of it at some point. But, because with her, she normally doesn't want, like, a possession. Like, she usually, like this year, she wants to have her bike tuned up. I also need to get the piano tuned for her, which can be pricey. So we'll need to do that at some point. But I picked up Super Mario Maker for the Wii U, and I think before I had shown that I had it for 3DS as well. So that's neat. And this kind of falls in the realm of things that we are planning for the podcast in the near future, but I do have some equipment on the way to help us with streaming games from more systems, because currently we're just able to stream from PS4 and Xbox One. So been pretty excited about that.
And you've already started doing that.
Yes, I'll talk about that in a second, but yeah, started doing that. That was kind of fun. Didn't really have many people watch, but what are you gonna do? We're just starting this, so I didn't really expect a whole lot. Now we will and then of course today got the extension cables for the NES Classic, so actually get to play it instead of like just sitting cross-legged in front of the TV in my family room and play that way, because you don't want to play that way. You just don't. But yeah, you got to play that a little bit, and we played some retro gaming goodness.
Indeed, played some games I've never even touched before, and played some games that were a little touch of the past.
Yeah. And we do plan on streaming that at some point. But with that said, before I move on to that, Monday night, I had a fireball blow up in my face. And hairs from here, and if you're listening to this audio, I will say what areas I'm pointing to on my face. But top of my beard, mustache area, only on the right side, mind you. Eyebrow. Oh, and eyelashes, actually. And yeah, eyebrow. Oh, and hairline, even. Singed hair.
Okay, see, I didn't notice it on your face, but I did notice that there was like a little bit of like something here that felt
like
off.
A grayish. Yes. Yeah. That's singed hair from a fireball. And that was because something caught fire in the toaster oven and didn't know it was a grease fire at the time, so tried to blow it out, because I've done that before, and that's worked for me in the past. And it didn't. So, but the house is still intact. We didn't burn the place down. We even saved the toaster oven. So, thankful for that. That happened this week. But with that said, what you playing?
Well, I have taken a break from Pokemon Sun.
That's not entirely true.
Okay, I did take a break. I broke it like 2 hours ago. I have for like the 2 or 3 of you who are constantly watching this, I've been shiny hunting in that game because that's really all I have left to do. I could try and see how far I could get in the battle tree, but I want to do that. I want to do that last because I want to get the Pokemon that I want to be shiny as trophies, and some of them I want them to be on my competitive league or competitive team. And when I get that figured out, then I'll go ahead and try and conquer the battle tree. But until then, I'm shiny hunting. And right now, I think I've got 5. I have shiny Sandygeist, shiny. I think it's shiny Dewpider, shiny Pyukumuku, shiny Beldum, and what was that other one? Or maybe it's just those 4.
Ever feel like we're just tricked into playing a game longer than it really was designed to be played, but someone just has this sick idea to add something to make us be like, you know what? Let's see how long they'll really play this game for.
I think that's the goal for like anything that's supposed to be like kind of challenging. As if that weren't the case, Pokemon Sun, I'm sure someone's beaten it faster than I have. I beat it in 36 hours total game time. And in real life, that took me like I did that in 4 days. I probably could have done that actually in about a day and a half had I been doing nothing but that. But I also had schoolwork to do. So I had to try and focus on that. But yeah. Yeah, if there really wasn't anything else to do in those games, I probably wouldn't like them so much because I'd just be done with them so fast. Because right now, total game time, I have 167 hours in. And I want to say at least 40 hours has been spent shiny hunting. Because it took me about 2 days of kind of close to non-stop shiny hunting for that Beldum. It took me like 500 or 600 SOS encounters to find that. Wasn't the most exciting time of my life. And I also thought it was going to struggle kill itself. So that was, like, if I'd spent that much time trying to find that thing and it killed itself, I probably wouldn't play for much longer. Cubone! That's what I got. I got a shiny Cubone.
Wait, shinies can use struggle? Or wild Pokemon in general?
Yeah.
That's new. Like everything has infinite PP that you go up against in Gen 1.
Really?
Yeah. They do not run out of moves. They don't run out of any of the moves. Only you can run out of that.
Yeah, that's been a thing for a while. I think I'm going to say Gen 3. Because I definitely remember it being a thing in Gen 3. I don't know if it happened in Gen 2, but I know it's been sitting there since Gen 3. But yeah, and Beldum only knows one move, Takedown, which has 20 PP. So you have to watch it and make sure it won't kill itself, but also make sure that it can call for another person. Because if it doesn't, you break the chain and you have to start all over again. So shiny hunting is a very tedious thing, and I don't recommend it for everyone, but it's kind of enjoyable to do with the free time. Like, I have a lot of free time on my hands.
Yes, you do.
I probably won't be very soon because I think I might be going back to Cookville sometime next week to look for a job there because
you need a job.
I do need a job. But yeah, I will need to do that because I need to make rent money. What else have I played? Oh, I got Skyrim also for Christmas.
Oh.
I got a Amazon card, and I bought a Steam code from Amazon.
You got the non-gimped version of Skyrim.
Yeah. Well, it's it's for Steam. It's not the new version.
Oh.
It's like for the one for like 360 and PS3. The reason
So,
for that is because if it was the newer version, I probably wouldn't be able to run it.
but they're still selling them as two different versions on Steam.
I think so. I got the Legendary Edition.
I would just figure that you would just run it at certain settings, because I've heard that the PS4 and Xbox One editions are just basically running the game on like ultra high settings from the PC.
Yeah, but the normal version is really working. It's working okay, and by okay I mean everything is running kind of smooth. If I have the graphics set just low, like just
You
super
can't even
low.
get it up to medium.
I tried it. There's a big difference between low and medium. I'd say what is Skyrim run at? Was it 30 frames? Was it 30 or 60?
I don't think it's locked at 30.
Whatever it was. Like I tried high and I think it was going like 5 frames per second. It kind of looked like I was playing like the second game.
Wow.
And so I set it to like low, and like I mean it's playable and it's still a fun game. Like I mainly got it because like I just needed a fun adventure game to play on my laptop.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been trying to get into stuff on my laptop, because other than Overwatch on my console, there's nothing I really play on that, and Pokemon's the only game I have for my 3DS, and I figured, might as well have something to play on my laptop.
Yeah.
And it used to be Stardew Valley, but
Mm-hmm.
I think I got really far, and I think I got like too far to the point to where like I completely forgot like what anything does, or like who does what in that game. So I think if I want to play that again, I need to restart, or at least make another save file. I think they have multiple save files, but I just wanted a fun adventure game, and also I don't think my mom would let me take the 360 with me.
Yeah, I guess that is over at your house, at your mom's house.
Yeah.
Not with you.
I don't really use it. They really just use They just watch like stuff on Comcast.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen them use the 360 once, but I feel like if I ask her for it, she'll just be like, "Well, don't you already have the one?" I'm like, and
Well, can I ask a question? Whose console is it? Is it yours?
the console is technically everyone's.
Okay, well, that's different. I was going to say, if it's yours, you don't ask.
Oh yeah, no, like my Xbox One, I was just like when I had that at my house before I went to college, like everyone used it for like Netflix, YouTube. My sister would even like play games on it, and then like 2 weeks before college, my mom was like, "Oh no, what are we gonna do? You're taking Netflix away." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You can't take it." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You bought that all on your own." I'm like, "Yeah, I did.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's coming with me. So, I'm not going to college."
Fine.
Like, I would have an. This sounds really bad to complain about. I was like, I would only have a laptop, a big flat screen TV, and Steam. If I didn't take that with me, so
Oh, well.
I would have died of boredom with only the internet.
Well, I have been playing a little bit of Smash. A little bit. Just a little bit. Been playing The Last Guardian. I've beaten it twice. And both times beat it in like 3 sittings. It's not a long game. It's like 10 to 12 hours long. Probably more like 9 hours or less if you've already played through it and you kind of know how to get past certain puzzles and parts of the game. But yeah, you can watch the second playthrough on Twitch. Our Twitch account will allow it to stay up for about 2 weeks. So I want to say I did the first 2 parts actually on Christmas Eve. And I streamed the final part last night. So those are up if you want to watch. I don't do a whole lot of commentary Um, very rarely did I say anything. Number one, just because the game is what it is. There's not a whole lot to like make fun of or talk about. I mean, I feel like you had a lot to say when you played it a little bit.
Well, to be fair, was Kristen in the room with you?
No.
Yeah, see, like, you and Kristen were in the room with me while I was playing. So, like...
Yeah.
You, like, there's at least someone to talk to. I could see, like, you playing it by yourself, like... Number one, you're trying to figure out, like, what's going on. And at one point, you just get so lost in, like, thought of, like, trying to figure it out. You completely forget that you're even, like, doing anything other than playing a game.
Yeah.
I'd imagine. So, I think with, like, another person there, like, you'd probably talk a little bit more.
Probably. It is strange to talk to just yourself. Actually, I think Kristen was in the room at least the first session that I recorded, maybe the second one too. But it just kind of felt weird to me talking to nobody really, but have her in the room. So, yeah, I guess I'll just have to get used to that, to be honest, because that is kind of the point of streaming, not just have someone watch you play a game, but hear the live commentary and that kind of stuff. But just this game doesn't really... I mean, the only thing I'd really have to say is this is so pretty. Look at this game. This is so great. Like, just gush about the game. And I know that, I get tired of listening to people do that, so definitely wouldn't want my commentary to be like that. But I do make comments here and there. Especially, it's weird. Like, I do the most talking during the credits at the end of the playthrough. But, it's our first stream, so hopefully we'll just get better and better. And when it's time for Resident Evil 7, I have a feeling like we're going to want to take advantage of that, capitalize on somehow.
Oh, yeah. Like, I mean, you have, like, a library of games to choose from to play with. Like, just looking at your PS4 games, you already have, like, 10 times the amount that I have for my
I just
Xbox
don't get
One.
rid of games.
No, like, that's not a bad thing. Like, I hate when I, like, a few months pass after I, like, sell a game, and I just, like
Smash Brothers for
I really
3DS.
wanna play, like, see, like, I don't feel that way about the 3DS.
Yeah, you should.
Like, the Wii U version, I love playing that. If the Nintendo Switch wasn't coming out anytime soon, I'd probably get my own Wii U just for Smash. Because it's such a fun game. But the 3DS version, like, I don't know. Like, it was really fun at the time, but I don't have, like, a want to play it.
That's so strange.
I mean, like, I'm fine with using my DS as the controller. I'm okay with that, but, like, actually having it down there is just like...
Well, granted, you are in the 2DS, which has a much smaller viewing area.
Also, you have an XL, so yours
Yeah,
is like yours is meant for like bigger people.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah, mine is just like this is like a square.
No, I played because I had an original 3DS until I got Smash Brothers, and I'm like, this needs to change. This screen is much too small.
It's just holding it in your hand, like, one of the kids from our church, like, he was trying to like show me something on his like Pokemon X version, and like he gave me his 3DS, and like I took it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so
it's the same screen size as the 2DS's screens.
But it's just because like the bottom part is just so much tinier than what I'm used to. Because I'm used to wrapping like my whole hand around something, but with his, it was just like a tiny little rectangle. I was like, oh my gosh, what the?
Yeah. But yeah, speaking of 3DS, I'm playing through Kingdom Hearts 3D. And over the break, I honestly haven't played it a whole lot. I've played through Traverse Town, which is the first world you go to, with both characters, and I'm not far into the Hunchback of Notre Dame level, and I don't know the name of the level because it's in French. It's like a nickname for Paris or something like that. They should have just called it Paris, because that's the name of the city that it takes place in. But it's like Les Cité des Choses or something. It's weird, and I will never remember it. But I do have some more impressions of the game, and it honestly, like, so just so that in case you're not aware, I'm a big Kingdom Hearts fan. Some of you may think not that big, considering it's taken me so long to get to Kingdom Hearts 3D, Dream Drop Distance, but I'm a huge Kingdom Hearts fan. And getting into it, it just seems like the game was designed by someone who played one of the Kingdom Hearts games one time and got assigned to creating a whole game. Because they don't understand that Kingdom Hearts is great in its simplicity. You know, it takes the magic spells, summons, all these typical Final Fantasy elements, and boils them down to their elements. Oddly enough, the game was originally, the first one that is, it was originally supposed to be similar to Super Mario 64. That's why you have all the platforming elements in it. And then with 2, they threw all that out and just made it a straight up action game.
Which is good.
Yeah, it was a good choice. With Kingdom Hearts 3D, though, they just throw you into it. Your first thing that you're doing is fighting a boss, Ursula. And the difficulty of the game so far is not that bad. Especially where I'm at right now in World 2. But they just start throwing all of these tutorials at you, one right after another. I want to say there's like an hour and a half to 2 hours worth of tutorials to go through. Combat is pretty basic. Using your command deck, if you've played Birth by Sleep, it's exactly the same way. Of course, you don't get the cool forms that you transform into. The first thing you learn to do, though, is flow motion, which I love. Flow motion lets you air dash and super jump and launch off of objects and enemies, too. Actually, that's pretty neat that you can do it against enemies, too. And you can use it to explore the environment, or you can use it in combat. It's really good. It kind of breaks the game a little bit, I feel, because you can literally scale an entire building just by air dashing and jumping off of the same wall until you reach the top. So it kind of makes hidden places impossible to keep hidden, because you can just explore the whole map right at the beginning of the game, which previous titles didn't let you do. Then they get into the other elements of the game that I have issues with. Reality shift, where for no reason at all, you can take a barrel or an enemy and you swipe down on the lower touchscreen, which I don't know how they're going to pull this off in Kingdom Hearts 2.8, because it's going to have Dream Drop Distance on PlayStation 4. So that'll be weird.
The PlayStation 4 controller has a touchpad, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, but you still, everything kind of moves down to the lower screen. It's weird. I'm sure they're gonna do it. They're gonna pull it off just fine. I just don't see how they would, because everything shifts down to the lower screen. But when it does that, you use this slingshot mechanic, and it's kind of clunky. Like, you're controlling your aim and the camera at the same time, and you can use it to take out enemies. You're basically just taking an element in the environment and slingshotting it up into the air and having it land on an enemy or a barricade in the environment. Sometimes there's like a treasure chest behind a barricade that you have to use reality shift to get to. And it's just annoying. It's completely unnecessary. And I don't know why they did it other than it's Square. They like to use everything that you can do on a system in a single game sometimes. And it's like, oh, well, we need to use the touchscreen. You need to touch it. Well, we'll just throw this in there. And someone like took all 5 minutes to come up with this mechanic. It's stupid. It doesn't need to be in there. It just distracts from the rest of the other things. There's also creating your party. And I don't like the fact that you're fighting these things called Dream Eaters, and there's 2 different classes. There's Nightmares, which is what you fight. Then there's Spirits, which are ones that you create out of recipes and ingredients that you collect. Just think of it as if you played any other Kingdom Hearts game, you're able to recruit or create Heartless / Nobody / Unversed in your party.
What was it? Final Fantasy 13 Part 2.
Yes.
What you're able to do in that.
13-2, same thing. Which I don't like. Some people, I'm sure, think that's a really cool idea. I'm not one of those people. And I don't like how on the field, even though they kind of try to, like, here's my deal right now. I've got a bat in my party, and the bat does these like ultrasonic waves. Sometimes he'll attack an enemy that I'm attacking, but I can't tell if those ultrasonic waves are coming from him or they're coming from an enemy Dream Eater. So if I don't do anything, there's a chance I'll take damage. It's annoying. It's stupid. This is why you don't have an action game where you can have enemies be on your team. Like, I think the idea is terrible. I wish they would either just let me team up with someone from that world temporarily, or do what Birth by Sleep did and you're just fighting on your own. It would actually be better that way. But I'm sure the game is scaled so that you're supposed to have party members. So that's annoying. Oh, and you can do little annoying things like you can go into the menu and like pet them on the touch screen, and it's like, I don't want Nintendogs in my Kingdom Hearts. Get it out. So that's an issue that I have with the game. Then there's the drop system. And if it sounds like I'm describing an overly complicated game, it's because I am. Drop system. It's a glorified way of saying you can only play as Sora or Riku for so long. You have a gauge that goes down. When the gauge runs out, you have 30 seconds of bonus time, whatever that means. But bonus time, once that runs out, you drop, aka switch to the other character. And I think the reason they did this is because they wanted you to play the game together as Sora and Riku at the same time. Like, they didn't want you to do like in Birth by Sleep, where you're encouraged to grab one of the 3 main characters, play through the game as that character, and then return and play through as a different character. And you see the storyline from a different perspective. I think they wanted you to see both Sora and Riku's perspectives at the same time. But forcing the character... The problem with this system is you can drop in the middle of a battle, and the battle resets if that happens when you go back to that character. That's annoying. Also, you can clear out a whole area and then drop. When you drop back to that character, all the enemies have respawned, which if you were planning on exploring the area after you cleared it of enemies like I do, well, that messes that up. They should have just done something, and we were talking about this before we started recording. They should have just made designated areas where you just switch over to the character. Maybe you play the whole world through as one character, and then you play it again as the other character.
Yeah, would have been super easy. You could get to like one point and then like maybe do like a small cutscene of like a door closing, and then like, oh, now you're Riku, and
Yeah.
you like, it's the same world but take a different route and like maybe have a completely different objective, which I think they both do already, but it's just the switching. It's like I remember that was one of the things that I think made me want to like stop playing it. It's just like
Yeah.
it reminded me a lot of the Sands of Time and the Phantom Hourglass mechanic and the Phantom Hourglass
Being timed.
Legend of Zelda game. Yeah, it's like I don't if it's not a little like if it's like a small part of the game and it's to get like maybe an item or something that's like you want to get because it'll benefit you, like I'm fine with being timed in a game. If it's the whole game and that's one of the main mechanics of the game and like you can't escape it, I think that's dumb.
Never play Majora's Mask.
Well, I mean, like you can reset time.
Yeah, do you know what happens when you reset time?
Yeah, everything you do is like reset.
All the events reset, and for some reason, you keep special items, but anything that's stocked, like rupees and arrows and bombs and all those little items that you hold on to, gone. Now, you could put your rupees in a bank and then they'll stay there, but it's still stupid. It's like, why do that? Why can't I just hold on to everything when I reset time? Well, because you're resetting time. Well, shouldn't I lose all my masks by that logic? That's the response that you get. It's just stupid game logic sometimes. And I definitely feel like the drop system was a completely wasted idea, along with reality shift and creating spirits.
I like the companion mechanic. I think certain games do it pretty well.
But can you understand how you can have like that bat or the exact copy of an enemy helping you, and they do an attack and they're attacking from off screen, but it's coming at you, but you can't tell if this is an enemy attack that's going to hurt me or if it's an ally who's trying to help me. Because that's happened like 3 times in the game.
Yeah, I mean, like I can understand that. I don't think that was ever like a huge problem for me.
It's not
it
a
might
huge
just be,
problem. It's just an annoyance.
It might just be like I tend to just rush in and try and kill everything. I'm a very impatient person, and I just like to go in guns a-blazing, doing whatever damage I can, and then like a lot of games that I play, I almost completely forget to like look at my health, and by the time I do, and like I realize I need to get out, it's too late.
Yeah, well, I like that Kingdom Hearts has always had the mechanic of when you get low in health, you get that little siren that starts sounding.
Yeah, which is nice. I should probably learn to stop doing that. And that's kind of one thing that Dark Souls 3 helped me, or Dark Souls 2 and 3 helped me with.
Dark Souls in general.
Yeah, they teach you to like take your time, because if you rush in, you'll die every time. It's like, just every time. Never gonna have fun with the game if you do it that way, which is good. But
so I'm still gonna play the game though. I'm gonna play it all the way through. I have heard that the PlayStation 4 version of the game they'll actually change up the drop system to be better. Whatever that means.
So they're not gonna like bring it at all.
That would be nice.
Make it better.
And one thing I love about the game is the fact that you can finally play as Riku in a normalish setting. Because the only other game you could play as Riku actively was a Chain of Memories, and even on the PlayStation 2 version, you were still locked to the card system. Love it or hate it. But now you can actually just play as a normal Kingdom Hearts game, but as Riku. So that's cool. Oh, one more issue with the game. Riku and Sora look young. Like, they look like this. The character models look exactly the same that they did in Kingdom Hearts 1. Kingdom Hearts 2, which takes place 1 year later, and the characters are therefore 1 year older, and they look it. Riku's a lot taller. Um, he's got a longer face, and Sora no longer has dark brown hair. He's got light brown hair. The difference between Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. He's also taller. And you even see them both talking to Yen Sid in previous cutscenes right before they go on this mission in Dream Drop Distance. And they look, it's almost like they reverted back in age, and I don't know why they did that. The only difference with Riku is now his hair isn't as long as it used to be.
You're absolutely right.
I know. It's crazy.
I'm looking at it like right now because I could have sworn they looked older.
They don't. They look exactly like they did in the first game.
They have like the same clothes that they wear in Kingdom Hearts 2, but well, I think Sora's is different. It's like the different colored.
Are you talking about the black outfit?
It's like red and black.
Oh, yeah. The outfit that he wears during the game, Dream Drop Distance. Yes,
Yeah.
That's a completely new outfit for him.
Yeah.
And Riku's outfit is new too.
Okay. But yeah, no,
But their faces and their hair, I mean, like it's...
I'd say it's because they like, I don't know, like Travis Town was, that was Kingdom Hearts 1.
But
like,
it's
maybe,
been in...
maybe they went like a little bit back in time or something. I don't know.
No.
It's like,
I mean, there could be a story explanation for it, but I'm kind of thinking it's going to be kind of like Link having pink hair. I'm just not going to get an explanation. It's just going to be, no, this is how the game is. But I like the game. I just have issues with it.